So with everything in terms of image content locked, I am now free to grab my text and then kind of pull this apart really to start off with, because this quotation is kind of like the heading. So if I select these two lines here, I'm going to cut that, hit the escape key, then go to edit and choose paste to get that in a separate text frame just down here. And then I have this copy to deal with afterwards. And I can just position that down here. So for now, I'm just going to click and drag and make sure that this text frame runs between the margins on this page in here. And then switch to my type tool and then go and change the font family back to one we've been using recently, which is Agency FB. Change the font style to bold compressed. Make sure that the text is all uppercase, and then make sure that the size of this is 72. Hit the return key. Obviously that's too big to fit on these pages, but I'm going to split this afterwards. I do need to make sure the color's obviously more legible than this. So I can go up to the top. Notice I don't have the text selected at the moment. So it is possible, obviously, to change the colors, but that will change the frame. If I change the button at the top to Format Affects Text, then I can change that again to paper, and that changes the color of the text only. Now for the next bit, I really need to split these two in half because they're not all going to fit on one page. You want to keep the text the same size. So it's a little bit of back and forth in here. Now I got this to a point where I could fit up to and including the need A, and then a split coach, I'm the man to do it, on the right hand side page. So I'm just going to select that across here and then down. I'm going to cut that. I'm going to get rid of the space in there, hit the escape key, and then go and paste that text in here. So that needs to sit in this margin just here, level with that left-hand margin, drag and pull that out to the far right-hand margin like so. And then I'll just bring that up a touch in there. Now that just make sure it does snap to that baseline. Yep, it does. And then drag this one down. So here, this one level with the left-hand margin, left-hand side page, down to baseline gap. And then just make sure that text frame is a little bit smaller in there. And in this case, then it's really about tracking for this. So double click, and then I will press Command and A to select all the text. And at the top up here, tracking then. I want to fill out this space. So I'm going to just keep increasing this up in here. Then I'll go across the other text frame and then click in there and then select all the text inside of there and then try that one again over this side. So 43, hit the return key. There's slightly more characters, oddly enough, on the text frame on the right-hand side, but it's not pushing it out to the distance that I need in here. So with this one then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to align this text to the outside of the page. So I'm going to go up to the top up here, hover my cursor over this one, not align towards the spine, but align away from the spine in there. I'm going to increase this one up some more. That obviously is going to leave still too big a gap in here, so I increase that to 70, maybe 80. That's probably about as much as I can get away with. So I'm going to click in here, select this text, and then I'll increase this one and see what we get. 80 is just not quite going to work. So if I just change that to say 75 and press return, okay, I can do 75 for that one. Select all this text, change this one to 75 as well. And I think that's about as close as we're going to get. So if I hit the escape key, what we'll get now is when this is printed and bound together, yes, we've got a gap in here, but part of that is going to get pulled into the binding. It's going to be pinched in the middle when all the document is bound together. We won't lose the title in here. Yes, there might be a slightly bigger gap than what you would expect if it was all one long text frame, but it's all legible. Also, Diego's face isn't in anywhere near the middle. His face is pretty much a third of the way in to that page as well on the left-hand side. So in terms of composition, I'm fairly happy with that. I'm sure that if I tweaked it further and spent more time, I could get a better end result from that. But I think that kind of illustrates what you'll have to do to get your text legible if it splits across the page in there. So that's that one done. If I pick up this text frame and then this one, I'm going to change the text in here. I'm going to select it all. Change the font family to Myriad Pro. I'm going to leave the font family style in there to regular. We'll just drop the point size in here to 11 points. I'm going to leave it set to sentence case. And then I'm going to change the color to paper, like so. And then I'm going to hit the escape key. So again, with this one, drag this across to make it wider. So that runs down here. Just pull this down. So again, it's at least a baseline away from the lines in here. And again, hold down the space bar to get the pan and then pull this across to the far right-hand side margin in there. So again, looking at this, it's a case of picking where can I split this text frame so it's going to work effectively for me. Probably looking at this, it's at the word find. So again, I can click inside the text frame, swipe across that text, and then I can cut that, hit the escape key, just pull that text frame back again, just to here, and then go to edit and then choose paste, or you can use a keyboard shortcut and position this text frame over here. Drag this out like so. And again, we're looking, you're fairly close with that. I might just try and get this a little bit, filling out that space even more, just select that text, increase the tracking just a touch in there. So maybe 20 in there. I'll try plus 20, put my cursor into this text frame, select all that text. Again, try and just space that out. So that one might then just have to stick to 10 in there to get that result. Hit the escape key on the keyboard, and then just make sure that text frame is a little bit shorter inside of there. So if I press the W key in the keyboard to go to preview in there, and we've pretty much got it down there. So yeah, a little bit of juggling there. As I say, I probably might need to just tinker with it a bit more and then pull that text out in there so it does all line up in there. That's going to be really important. So that is going to be a bit of an eyesore, and that's going to bother me. So I just need to increase that. Hit the escape key, just pull that text frame back a touch, and there we have it. That's looking a bit better. I would rather the tracking be a little bit different on either side at this point in time, and get all of that text lining up than to leave it the way it was and have a bigger gap here. The thing that makes it really stand out is the subheading in here. So like I say, you can tinker around with this and absolutely perfect it. Changing the point size and things like that, I am sure you'll get it absolutely spot on. But there we go, folks. That's the text formatted on this page. I'll now double click in that text frame, go to the top, capture that as a style. So hover over, hold down the Alt key, Alt and left click, call that heading. Just make sure under indents and spacing that is set to away from spine so that the text on this side aligns to the right hand side and the text on the left hand side page aligns towards the outside where the outside margin is. And then click OK. And I can then go down to the bottom, click in this text frame in here, hold down the Alt key, Alt and left click, and I'll call this subhead. And then again, I'll click OK to capture that. So we've now got styles for those and it's formatted.